Hey, welcome to your energy reading for this week. I am going to tune into the collective, all the people who are on my list, and that means this is a general reading, this is a group reading, this is not a one-to-one reading. So I imagine you will resonate with most of what I say, but just keep in mind that it's not one-to-one. And if there's something that doesn't resonate with you, just, leave it there for somebody else to pick up who might need it. So what I'm going to ask you to do as I connect to you is just go ahead and take a deep breath and relax your shoulders, just so we can set this time and intention to connect and open up to what Spirit might have for us today. All right, so as I'm looking into some of the individual lives here on my list, I see that some of us are gardening. Some of us are getting into this springtime planting season, and I'm seeing some people actually going in and doing a lot of work with plants. Whether you have a garden or you just have indoor plants, this is the time where people are doing that. And the reason why gardening can be so helpful is, yes, you're connecting to the earth and all that energy of growth, but also it's very systematic, and it really is a process that you cannot rush. And what I'm getting here is that a lot of us are in a place where we need to be really systematic about the way that we take care of ourselves. And there might be a long laundry list of things that you want to do for yourself, for your body, for your house, for your job. However, we can't do them all at once. We're in an existence where we have to take it step by step. This is a very process-oriented existence. And so I'm getting here initially that there's this reminder to take your time as you make adjustments. It's okay to get really methodical and really technical about the way that you take care of yourself. And in doing so, it's really going to help us to not get to this place where we're very impatient and we're trying to get ahead of ourselves. It's going to help us to kind of take our time. And I'm even getting an example of I washed my face today. Overall, it's going to be more glowing. In about a week, I'm going to see a real difference. This is just an example. Somebody might be changing up their skincare routine. And it's really important that if you don't see the change in front of you on your face like you want after just one day, it's still important to celebrate the fact that you did it for a day. And then maybe you did it 2 days in a row, and maybe 3 days in a row, and maybe 4 days this week. And really promoting yourself as you make these adjustments, because we're just not meant to just make adjustments all at once in our life. It's just not how this existence works. So if you are feeling impatient about wanting to do this self-care overhaul, it's important to know that is kind of going to make you work against yourself. And there's a lot of ground that you can cover when you are systematic about the changes that you want to have in the world. Another thing I'm getting from this little collective is kind of these overarching generalized questions about the course of humanity. This feels like something that's on people's hearts. We're seeing a lot of things out there, and we're wondering, how is this going to play out? Is everything going to be okay? We want to have a sense of, yes, everything's going to be okay, but it's really hard to ignore what we're seeing going on out there. And at the same time, we might feel really disconnected from some of the major news events of the things that are happening around the world. And the message that I want to convey from what I'm receiving is that it's really important to reinforce the positive even when you see something negative happen. And I do not mean toxic positivity where we just ignore the negative things that are happening or the shadow things. No, we need to fully face, what's in front of us. However, somebody is trying to get something for themselves and others possibly they might not be doing it in a healthy way, but they are trying to get something. So for example, maybe somebody is saying something that you don't like, but they are speaking up for themselves. So yes, you don't like what they're saying, but you can look at something and reinforce that positive that does align with your values. Practicing this is just going to put you in an energy of knowing that things will be okay. Because here's the truth. Things could not be okay, and things could be okay. And the difference is which one you focus on. We create our reality. And I know that puts a lot of self-responsibility and accountability when we feel like we don't have the control that I'm implying here. But everybody is living from a different perspective. And you might not, you definitely can't control anybody else's perspective, but you can control your own perspective. So it's not about being okay. The general question of, is everything okay? It doesn't mean, is everything perfect in the world? Are there no problems? Are we all happy, healthy, 100%, walking this path? I think we all understand that that's not really what this life is about. We're about growth, and we're about change, and we're about progress. So there's going to be some bumps along the road. However, being okay is a perspective. And no, you don't have control over the events of the entire world, but you do have control over your perspective. And if, as you're looking at these news stories and you're seeing things that can be quite atrocious out there, are you able to see, okay, this person really wants to defend their family. This person really cares about what they believe in. I totally disagree with what they believe in, but they care about it. This person, there's ways to reinforce the positive intention that does align with your values, and that will shift your energy so that it sends ripple effects to where everybody can be more supportive of each other. So when you hear something going on publicly that you do not like, try to find the positive, and that will help you on an individual level, even though you're looking at something that could even be worldwide. And that goes for families as well. There's oftentimes things that happen in the world are mirrored in our own families, and there are relationships that can be strained, that can be difficult. People are kind of getting to a point where they're no longer willing to go along with something that's harmful to themselves and others in the spirit of solidarity. There's a lot of people who are not going to uphold things of the past that just aren't necessarily working and never really were. But maybe in the past it wasn't as big of a deal because there were either other problems going on or there were other motives going on. We're getting to a huge shift culturally where people are no longer willing to do the things that they used to be willing to do. And in our families, that's causing a lot of tension amongst generations. So if you are somebody who's noticing your children or your parents or your grandparents, you're having this really strong repelling going on, where maybe you have a relationship with them, but you want to minimize that, or you're finding yourself really kind of drawing some lines in the sand, or maybe somebody's drawing lines in the sand for you in a way that you really would not prefer. I just want to say about this that everybody's going through this on some level. So one, you're not alone, and it is uncomfortable. It is unfamiliar, but I'm going to practice what I preach here, and I'm going to reinforce the positive, because ultimately, when we work through this discomfort in our relationships, especially with family members and generational divides, we are going to come up with a language, come up with a way of communicating to where we can bridge some of those gaps. But we do have to go through the process. And sometimes that process initially involves drawing really stark boundaries. So if you are somebody who needs to draw that boundary today, I want to encourage you to do that. If somebody's drawing a boundary against you, understand that that doesn't mean it's forever. That could mean that it's right now. And the more you reinforce the positive, the quicker we will be able to journey to a place together where we bridge the gaps in communication. Because here's the truth. We're not going to get along with everybody, but we are not going to rise and grow individually. We are going to do so together. We are going to make progress, and we are going to move forward, and we are going to make change together. And so it is really important to learn how to love in healthy ways, which includes boundaries. It's really important to communicate, to see other people's perspectives and points of view in new lights. It's important to change and go through that uncomfortable process so that we can all grow together and that nobody is left behind, even though we are at different places. And in no way am I saying that you are responsible for somebody else's journey. You are responsible for your own journey. But when you do that in a healthy way, it is only imperative that other people will join you on that path. You really, when you choose to do your own growth, other people have no choice but to do the same thing. And even if you never talk to them again, people are influenced by your healthy actions. And so even though this might be a difficult time, please know that you taking care of yourself sends ripple effects throughout the community. I'm going back to the initial image that I was getting of the gardening. I'm specifically getting hibiscus. And I'm not a doctor, and I'm not here to prescribe anything, and I honestly don't know the benefits of drinking hibiscus tea, but I am getting that it's a really great idea to do. I know I will drink hibiscus tea occasionally, and you might consider doing that as well if it's something that resonates with you. I truly don't know the health benefits of drinking hibiscus tea, but I am getting that it might add to our health if we are interested in trying that. So think about that and see if that resonates with you. I'm trying to kind of filter through the energy and see if I can get anything specific. I'm getting, it's just, we're getting vacations. I'm getting fun in the sun. I'm getting, a lot of us having a plan for a vacation. This is the time of year where we might not be on vacation yet, but we know they're in the works. And so that energy is kind of buzzing, and it's really helpful to get us through kind of the end of maybe the school year or a long period of working so that we can have that relaxation time. I'm also getting somebody who has a mosaic. So if you're somebody who has a mosaic around you, you also might be sitting on a patio. This reading is for you, especially to just pay close attention to the things I'm saying, because there might be something in here for you. I got that blue scarf again, the same blue scarf that I had last week. So if you've got a blue scarf or you were wearing it, I think the weather's getting warmer, so I don't know why we're wearing blue scarves, but maybe it's a lighter scarf, maybe it's not so big and chunky, but email me if you are the one with the blue scarf, because I got that image again. And yeah, I just keep kind of getting some scenery, just some flowers, like wildflowers. I'm getting travel. A lot of us are traveling. So, be safe out there. You are going to be coming in contact with a lot of people with a lot of different beliefs, but that doesn't mean we can't find some commonalities and from that place build bridges to help us just understand each other. And keep in mind, this is so important, and this is what I'll end with. Understanding somebody does not mean condoning them. Accepting somebody does not mean that you have changed your identity or that you are supporting something you don't believe in. But we coexist so much better when we can understand each other and accept each other for who we truly are as people, wherever we're at on our journey, knowing that it's really impossible for us not to grow. Even the most stubborn of us absolutely must grow. And so I want to encourage you that we are on the right path, that you are on the right path, and to keep moving forward. So if something in this resonated with you, feel free to message. If you have any questions as well, I'm here for you. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.